The topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to another Ask the Experts. I'm your host, Steve O. If you knew what my last name was, you would see why I go by Steve O. Hey, we're modulating out of Florida. We have experts all over the country. You know what? If you're in the cold weather today, I feel for you. This is a nice time of the year to be in Florida. So I normally go right into the show, but this expert, which has done so much for my life personally, I always do a little monologue with her because she has helped me personally. I was a snorer. Okay, for all you people out there that snore, you know what? I am telling you, it's okay to admit you snore. I was put on a CPAP machine. If you know of anybody or if you ever had to wear a CPAP machine, that is no way to sleep, though you don't snore. So I traded one bad thing in for another. And for the last 3 or 4 years, I've been on a CPAP machine. And Janet Bennett came to us about a year ago, and she said, I have a technique that works for a lot of people. And I got to tell you, I was a doubting Steve-O because there's so many things out there that say they can get you to stop snoring. But I gave it a shot because it actually made sense. And Janet got me, I don't even consider myself a guinea pig. She got me to change my life. I did not believe it would work because I've been through so many things. But after doing her techniques every day for 2 weeks, and she told me 7 weeks, but after 2 weeks, I put my CPAP machine on. I took my CPAP machine off just to see, because you can hear it when you snore at night. I was amazed. The last 2.5, maybe 3 months, I have not worn my CPAP machine. And I cannot thank Janet Bennett enough. So if you snore, or you have a partner that snores, or you have a family member that snores, you want to take notes today. Let me introduce you. I am her biggest fan now, Janet Bennett.
Hello. Thank you, Steve, for
I
having me
don't
on
do that
today.
for anybody but
I'm
you.
so proud of you for doing the exercises.
Well, they're easy, first of all,
I know.
and they make sense, Janet.
Yeah. Well,
And you don't oversell it. You have told me that, it doesn't work for everybody, but you have a success rate that I think is extremely high.
right. And let me just say this. I'm not sure that I told you that it doesn't work for everybody. That doesn't sound like me. But if I did, it will not work if they don't do their exercises.
Yes, of
Okay.
course.
So yeah, I love your story. It's great. And this morning
Amazing,
I think
Janet.
I'm just feeling like really excited about this program. And people are beginning to really think about tongue exercises to stop snoring. It's, it's becoming more well known. People are using the term more often. And even some doctors, I have dentists who contact me and ask if they can sell my program and, different things like that, because they know it works and people can't always afford the things that they make to pull their
The
jaw
apparatus
forward.
that they use, exactly.
Right, right. Or, they're like real expensive. Anyway, and the CPAP, nobody likes the CPAP. So, um, and I'm kind of hodgepodging right now because I want to be sure I say that this is about stopping snoring. But if you have sleep apnea, let me explain that you are breathing through your mouth. I know that without ever meeting you or seeing you. You're breathing through your mouth. And even if you have a CPAP, lots of times that prevents you from being able to keep your lips closed to learn how to not breathe through your mouth. So that can be, really a bad thing. But as as long as you breathe through your mouth, you are going to have sleep apnea. Yes, the CPAP should work each night. It probably won't give you as much air as you really need, but enough to make you safer on the road or, just feeling better. But if you learn how to close your lips, do you think that you can still have sleep apnea? I can't tell you that my program will help sleep apnea, but I want you to think about that. Okay? You snore. My program will help you stop snoring if you do the exercises 2 times a day and if you can physically breathe through your nose. That's real important, okay? And I'm
Jenny, I got to say one thing that people need to understand. It's almost like being an alcoholic and not admitting it. I can't tell you how many people I've spoken to who haven't didn't ever admit they're a snorer.
well,
And I think that's the first step they got to get through.
you know what my thought is? I've been working with snorers for the last 20 years. I've worked with a lot of snorers and their spouses who say he or she lies about it. I I don't believe that a person who snores understands that all these other bad things that they feel, like the way they feel when they wake up, maybe their jumpy legs or daytime sleepiness. I don't believe that they have connected it to the snoring. Okay, so it could be that they just think, okay, I snore, I make noise. Well, so what about it? It's embarrassing. Don't tell anybody. But it's not like that, because the snoring, you're snoring because you're mouth breathing, and mouth breathing is the big culprit that I wanna talk about today. Also, you might have a really big tongue, like a really wide tongue, and we can make that tongue skinnier. I have a 7-lesson program. I'm gonna kinda jump ahead right now and tell you about this program. It's electronic. You'll have 7 lessons, and you have to practice the exercises 2 times a day. There's a video there that you can go to, and you will see me showing an adult male how to do each exercise, so you will know how to do them, even if I'm not with you. There's another video where you can go to do your exercises. I'll be sitting there waiting for you. If you have to do something 5 times, I'll count. If you have to do it for 5 minutes, I'll time it. You don't need to bring anything except yourself and copy me, and it'll be done in like 15 minutes. But you've got to do it twice a day. So it's real simple. And if you can imagine all of this happening in 7 weeks, now that's key. Okay, because I treated 86 people all over the United States back in 2003, and after treating them with 7 lessons of exercises, 94% stopped snoring. Now, the ones that didn't stop snoring, they didn't do their exercises, or they quit there at the end, or they couldn't breathe through their nose or whatever, but it was not because the exercises didn't work. 94% stopped snoring. Um, 11 of those 86 people were on a CPAP, and I think 3 of those people went off of their CPAP.
How
So
many of them had the tongue thrust?
I don't know.
Because
Okay.
that was one of the things I had also that I knew nothing about till I met you.
Okay. Okay, so that's for that you've never asked me that. That's an interesting question because I do specialize in the treatment of tongue thrust. Okay. And then for our viewers or listeners who don't know, that's when you swallow improperly. Your tongue pushes the back of your teeth or comes out when you swallow. So you might have buck teeth or something wrong with your teeth. Anyway, you have to learn how to swallow correctly. And when I do find people who have a tongue thrust, they are mouth breathers. So here we go back to mouth breathing. And they're probably snorers. If they're going to breathe through their mouth, they're going to make some noise, just like that. Okay. But that question you've asked me at the time in 2003, I was so focused on stopping snoring. I had just discovered that my exercises for tongue thrust stopped somebody from snoring. And I was so focused, I didn't even ask about tongue thrust. So I don't know, but I'm going to say a large percentage because mouth breathing can cause so many problems. But anyway, so I'm extra excited today because I've made this decision. I want to offer all of your listeners, Steve, all your listeners and your viewers, I want to offer a 20% discount off my program when you
Wow.
purchase it electronically. Now, it doesn't cost much to begin with, okay? So now it's really more affordable. And I can do that because I know that everyone's going to love it. And there is a 60-day money back guarantee even. But just FYI, I can count on one hand how many people have asked for their money back over the last 20
I
years.
believe that.
I still get contacted by some of them who say, oh, I didn't do all of my exercises when I got the program. Was that
It's a
mouth breathing? Okay. How do you know if you're a mouth breather? Okay,
somebody just wrote us.
I'll get to that in a second. But anyway, I don't remember what I was saying. So
So, well, we were talking about the discount.
right. Okay, so anyway, this person just you got my attention and made me forget what I was saying. But this person, I think, wants to know how you know if you're a mouth breather and if you just mouth breathe at night. Great questions. So I'm just going to jump in. Some people breathe through their mouth all day, 24/7. Some people only breathe through their mouth while they're sleeping. I've never met anyone who only breathes through their mouth while they're awake during the day. That doesn't happen because if you're in the habit of breathing through your mouth, you're like this, your lips are apart most of the day. When you go to bed and everything gets relaxed, you're only going to breathe through your mouth more. So I know that if you breathe during the day, you breathe through the night. Okay. And I'm going to answer your question about how do you know if you're a mouth breather. I've got lots of ways for you to test that. But I am excited about this offer. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to give you the code for this 20% discount until the end of the show because I want you to hear what I have to say. It's real important. Oh, I know. I was saying it has a 60-day money back guarantee, and it rarely happens. And people call or email me saying, "Oh, I've forgotten how to get in. I've forgotten my password for this program. Please get me back in." Of course, we always get them back in, but they tell me I didn't go through the whole program when I purchased it 15 years ago. But now I've decided I'm ready to do the exercises. You would not believe how many people tell me that. And they
And
always have, you always have access to this program.
tell
But
people, there's so many people that snore don't understand about the health issues involved.
I know. Okay, I'm going to hit that right now. Okay, so here we go. I have to make sure I don't miss anything. Here's a way to find out if you breathe through your mouth. Do you wake up with a dry mouth in the mornings? Now, that is like a number one telltale sign. because if you're breathing through your mouth, even part of the night, you're going to have some dryness to your mouth. Okay. If you wake up and your mouth is parched, you are breathing through your mouth all night long. Now, because of that, you might also wake up with a sore throat that goes away pretty quickly, or a headache that goes away in about 30 minutes. You might wake up being irritable. Now, as I'm saying these things, remember about the children. They can have the same problems as adults. And if you know that your child has these symptoms, you need to get them so that they are breathing through their nose. And this program is perfect for them if they are at least 5 or 6 years old. Okay, so y'all are catching me off guard here. Good job, Rebel. I just found out somebody's really talking about the program, so that's great. Okay, here's some more. You've got to get your kids to stop breathing through their mouth while they're a kid, and don't grow up and be an adult who's a mouth breather. That's important. Okay, do you have daytime sleepiness? People who breathe through their mouth get sleepy during the daytime, and it's usually about 1 o'clock. Some people, it might be later, like 2:30 or 3. But as you start doing this program and doing the exercises, you'll start breathing through your mouth more during the night. Maybe just an hour or 2 during the night, but you're going to tell a difference. Like maybe you don't get sleepy during the day until like 4 o'clock. So different things just gradually start improving. Okay, people don't understand all these weird things that have to do with mouth breathing. I'm just going to list a lot. You wake up tired. You might have a pain in your neck and shoulders every morning when you wake up. Don't ask me how that's connected to mouth breathing, but it will stop when you do these exercises. You might
I
have
was tired every morning and it affected my driving.
That's
I
right.
mean, I would sometimes start to nod off,
I know,
and it
and
was because I never got good sleep at night
that's right.
because I was snoring, and even with the CPAP machine, that's not good sleep.
I know, and it's not good if you run into my kid's car. You know what I mean? Um, you might have heartburn, acid reflux. These things, a lot of things like phlegm. A lot of people have phlegm. Did you know
Yes.
that mouth breathing increases the phlegm?
Wow.
Phlegm is 90% water. Mouth breathing increases the phlegm. Mouth breathing increases your anxiety. So when you start learning how to breathe through your nose more and more, you will be calmer, less anxious. Mouth breathing, oh, it might feel like you get something stuck in your throat right here. A lot of people will start coughing or clearing their throat, and it can turn into a chronic habit. That's only because you have a tongue thrust and you're swallowing improperly. And you just need to be taught where to put your tongue whenever you swallow so that everything goes down fast and forcefully. You may also have a lisp. Some people, when they talk, they have a lisp, and that's because of the tongue thrust. And they are mouth breathers also. You may have a lot of bad dreams or night terrors. Your child, who is maybe 5 to 8 or 9 years old, might still be wetting the bed. That's due to mouth breathing. Go in and check on your kid while they're sleeping. You may have trouble swallowing pills. That's not because of mouth breathing. That's because of a tongue thrust. They all overlap. The way you breathe, the way you swallow, and the way you sleep tells everything about you. And it determines how you are going to feel. And if you're missing any part of that, you won't have the full effect. You will forever feel unhealthy. You may, right now, if you're listening to me, obviously, tell me where your tongue is in your mouth right now. Email, tell us, is it on the top? Is it on the bottom? Is it in the middle? Where is your tongue? That's your resting posture when you're not using it to eat or talk. And I'll tell you later where it should be. You may have stomach aches after you eat a meal. Now, I know we parents, We fought hard growing up our kids to make sure they did not chew their food with their mouth open or smack their lips. But now I have found, as a speech pathologist, I have found that people who breathe through their mouth have to open their mouth a little while they're chewing, because you can't chew with your lips closed for very long if you're used to breathing through your mouth. Okay, so let up on the children right now and get them taught how to breathe through their nose. Okay, and then that'll change. Do you get up 4 or 5 times to go to the bathroom? That's due to mouth breathing. Okay, you shouldn't get up more than 1 time a night to go to the bathroom. Do you wake up with chapped lips? Do you wake up with messy sheets? That means you were restless while you were sleeping. Some people have restless leg syndrome, and that's now
Yes.
considered a symptom of sleep deprivation. Another type, well, very similar to restless legs, is called periodic limb movement. Okay, so some people are saying they never paid attention to where their mouth is in their mouth, where their tongue is in their mouth. Well, today is the day that you pay attention. Okay, your tongue should be on the top on your palate, up on the top with your lips closed. But see, if your mouth is open, your tongue can't stay on the top. That's one of our secrets. I know if somebody is swallowing and in the middle of their swallow, they open their lips, their tongue falls down and it messes up their swallow and they're can't, swallow. Little things like that make a big difference. Let's see, what else?
Janet, with your program, I got to tell people that once I started with my noticing where my tongue was, which I never did before, my tongue now automatically goes to the top of my mouth now,
I know.
automatically.
These exercises make that happen. Thank you for sharing that, Steve. To make a new habit, you have to repeat, 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 repeat. It has to, I tell people, I want it to drive them crazy. I had a little kid come into my office one day, a little boy, about 8 or 9 years old, and he said, I had a nightmare and Big Tongue was running after me down the sidewalk. Anyway, so I knew he was really thinking about it. What if you have food under your tongue that you need to swallow? Well, if the food is under your tongue, you will not be able to swallow it. Okay, so you need to get the food up on top of your tongue. Use your tongue, make it into a little ball. Put your tongue on the roof of your mouth and swallow it down like a wave. Okay, your tongue tip should be where you make the D sound. Say door, duh, duh. It's right behind your teeth on the upper palate, duh. And when you swallow, you have that water or the food on top of your tongue. Put your tongue tip up. Do not let it fall down. Do not open your lips because your tongue will fall down. And very quickly, middle of the tongue goes up, back of the tongue goes up, and it's like a wave, and it's gone. So that's a really quick explanation of how to swallow correctly, but it changes your life when you learn how to swallow correctly. Okay, then you don't have all of these other problems.
How about, one thing that is really important about sleep apnea is you literally stop breathing in the
That's
middle of the
right.
night.
That's right. You
And I
do.
think God made us to where that snore wakes us up and
That's
gets
right.
us to breathe again.
That's right. Well, there's a part of your brain that actually makes that happen. Because if let's say that you are sleeping with a snorer, okay, and one night, of course, you're awake because the person's snoring, but then all of a sudden you hear them go, they have stopped breathing. And that's when you start freaking out and shaking the
Yes.
person and wake up, wake up, wake up. Well, there's a part of your brain that made them snort and wake up like that. Okay, and that saved their life. Sleep apnea, you could do that. Well, I just read this one lady stopped snoring and stopped breathing 88 times in 1 hour.
I
88
could believe that.
times. That's horrible, and it hurts your heart tremendously. And so just to be able to stop having that happen is a huge thing. but I was saying some people do not have that part of the, well, they have that part of the brain, but that part of the brain isn't working so that it sometimes doesn't wake them up. And that's called central sleep apnea. So you need to know what kind of sleep apnea you have. I didn't get to read that last one, Steve.
It was
I heard.
about,
Oh,
there
okay.
you go.
Yeah. Okay. So people are sharing the word, and we've been out there a long time. But I just thought that now is the time for you to really start thinking seriously, because the older you get, the worse all of these medical problems are going to get. There are a few other little things that I've found out too. Long-term mouth breathing. I have to read this. This can make crowded teeth, cracked lips, cavities, and gum disease. Now you think about that. Whoever would think about that? Because if you're getting dirty, cold air in your mouth, everything in there, your teeth, your gums, they unfortunately are experiencing that dirty, cold air. And it's not good for them. It's hurting them. So if you were going to the dentist and getting that your gums cleaned out every 3 months or whatever, of course you need to do that. But if you learn how to stop breathing through your mouth, there'll be a huge difference. And once you get your gums back, they'll stay good, as long as you brush your teeth and all that good stuff. But
One of our listeners brought up truck drivers, and I got to tell you that because one of my biggest problems, and this is with the CPAP machine on, because though I wasn't snoring, it's not good sleep at all. And I would find myself nodding off driving, which
I know.
I have a feeling there's been a lot of accidents have happened because people had sleep apnea and just didn't get good sleep. So if you are a truck driver, this is so important.
Right.
If you snore, and Janet, it happened again the other night. My girlfriend's sister was laying on the couch snoring, and I mean snoring. And we woke her up and said, you're snoring. No, I'm not snoring. And I think a lot of people just don't,
Well, that's why
want to admit it.
I'm trying to educate everybody. I really am, because it sounds crazy. I mean, I know for 20 years, believe me, people have thought I was just crazy. How can tongue exercises take away these kinds of medical problems? Well, it's because you're putting dirty, cold air in your mouth and your body. Here's the other important thing I want to say quickly. You know what REM sleep is, REM. That's when you get your good sleep. Well, if you mouth breathe, you cannot get into REM sleep. How's that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
Um,
what, Jen, I just want everybody to know because I was a denier, but I also tried the strips that went on your nose. I went to a dentist to talk to him about the apparatus. That there was no way I was going to do that. But I tried so many different things.
I know.
And of course, the CPAP machine works, but it's so uncomfortable.
Right, right.
And that's
And
what I love about yours is because you have a technique that works
right.
that I don't have to wear a CPAP machine anymore.
Right. And I want to say, because of muscles, that's what you're working with. You're getting them stronger and more toned. Muscles have memory. So, no,
Yes.
you're probably wondering, do I have to do this for the rest of my life? No, you don't. You get everything in order. You get everything toned and strong. And I have a special apparatus that I actually invented, if you can believe that. It's called the tongue stick. What a unique name. And it will help make your tongue skinnier. You did not hear me wrong. It will make it skinnier because it's got to live up on the roof of your mouth. And your muscles will remember this. There is a little maintenance program in case for some reason maybe you get a cold and you can't breathe through your nose for a while. It's okay. When you get well, you should be able to go right back to it. But if not, just do a few exercises. Easy peasy. Anyway,
How about I
so
bit my tongue all the time, Janet?
Right,
all the time. And I was like, why am I biting my tongue?
right.
And we found out that I had tongue thrust, and dentists are very aware of that, very aware. And I
Well,
started doing the exercises with
right.
my tongue. I have not, God, it's been months since I've bitten my tongue.
Right, right. The wide tongue, if you picture it, picture a wide tongue in your mouth. When you start chewing something, do you even have room for food in your mouth, much
Right.
less your tongue moving around? And it's gonna, while you're trying to chew with your teeth, out, you're gonna catch your tongue in there every now and then. So that's another sign that the program's working for you. Uh, when you start using this great tongue stick to make your tongue skinnier, then all of a sudden you're going to say, whoa, I am not biting the sides of my tongue. And that proves to you that it's working, as weird as that may sound.
You know what I
Okay.
think the best thing is about your program is
What?
once you've done it, and no more, you wake up in the morning and you don't have a headache. Your mouth is not dry. This is things that I went through, the nodding off during the day,
Right,
and you go, oh my God, I can't believe, no more headaches now,
right,
no dry mouth,
right.
no biting my tongue. I mean, it's
You need to keep a diary when you start this program, because you will forget how you're feeling right now. You
yeah,
will forget about a lot of
yes,
those things. So write them down, you know. Okay, so is it time to share the
yes, it's
code?
time.
Kids get cavities from mouth breathing. Yes, yes. Kids, the gums, you see the gums, and um, I'm not a dentist, okay? But I know what research shows has proven that mouth breathing can make teeth crowded. It all has to do with the gums, I'm sure, okay? And um, cavities. Yeah, ask your dentist about it. But if your kid mouth breathes, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it matters, but forget about that. Just have your goal to be that he or she learns how to breathe through their nose. And then all these other things will be taken care of. Okay, so 20% discount on my program. It is easy. You can see me doing them. I'll help you exercise. And you go to www.correctmytonguethrust.com. Correctmytonguethrust.com. And the code for 20% off is Sophia. Sophia. That's Steve's woman. The name is Sophia. That's the code. Okay. Email me. I'm an author at IJustWantToSleep.com, just to confuse you even more. There's another website. But call me at 828-273-9888. I'm here. This is what I do all the time, and I love doing it. I love to help
You
people.
do.
It's easy. It's just so easy. I hate to see people struggling when it can be so easy. All right, 20%
Janet,
code.
thank you so much.
Thank
Janet
you.
will be back again with us next month. Uh, we're doing this all over the United States, and it works. That's all I can say. It works. We love
Yes.
you, Janet.
Thank you.
Have a good week.
Okay,
We'll
you
see you
too.
soon.
All right. Bye.
That's Janet Bennett. Folks, I cannot tell you, I've really never, with all the experts we have, I've really never endorsed a product, but this one right here, oh my God, it has changed my life. And it's so easy to do. And some people say, well, what if you forget to do the exercises? You won't, because it's in the back of your mind. Do I want to go back to the CPAP machine, which I don't? I'm going to do my exercises. And they're so easy. Anyhow, that's it for us today. We'll be back with you again next week. Same time, same station. Tell your friends about our show, Ask the Experts. Thank you, Rebel, for all the great work you do. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.